AI coding agents can spend tokens and touch more files than intended before a dashboard tells you anything happened. Traditional cost tools are reactive. They show the spend and drift after the model call or change has already occurred. Preflight moves the decision point earlier. Before an agent starts, it creates a measurable execution contract, the expected model tier, effort, and maximum file footprint. A task enters the LunaLow predictor, which creates the contract. The task then runs through either our guarded in-process agent or an external CLI wrapper. Every action and drift check is exported through OpenTelemetry into signoz. The implementation is Python first. LunaLow handles the small structured classification. GPT-4o Mini handles the real coding loop under a cost ceiling. OpenTelemetry and self-hosted signoz provide traces, metrics, dashboards, query builder, and alerts. Foundry makes that deployment reproducible. We are explicit about guarantees. In-process mode checks actions during execution and can pause on high drift. External watch wraps a real coding CLI, but evaluates file system change after exit, so it is post hoc, not preemptive. Now I'm running preflight against a real coding task in a fresh, isolated workspace. The task is to add a /health endpoint and one focus test. Before the coding agent starts, preflight sends the task to LunaLow to create the execution contract. That contract predicts the expected tier, effort, and file footprint. Then a real GPT-4o Mini coding agent reads the relevant files, writes the implementation and test, and runs the test suite. Preflight observes every file action, applies policy checks, and compares the actual footprint against the prediction. When the command finishes, these values are not pre-filled. The token usage, API cost, changed files, policy verdicts, and drift score are the real results of this specific run. The first line is the real coding agent token usage and computed cost. The second is the separate Luna prediction call. Below that, preflight recorded every allowed action. Reads, writes, and the test command. Actual underscore files and drift underscore score compare the observed footprint with the predicted contract. Completed. True means the agent finished successfully. This is the same live execution in signoz. The prediction, execution, action evaluation, and drift check spans are all traceable here. This is the preflight signoz dashboard receiving telemetry from the live agent run. The top left panel records the Luna classification cost. The panel beside it tracks blast radius drift, the observed file footprint compared with the predictive contract. Below that, routing tiers show how preflight classified recent tasks, and policy verdicts show the actions that were allowed or blocked. This turns the pre-execution decision into an operational signal, not just a terminal message. This panel compares the observed run cost with an always large tier baseline. It is explicitly modeled savings, not a billing claim. Below it, drift is grouped by predicted tier, so we can see which kinds of predicted tasks are exceeding their expected scope. This is the trace for that live run. Preflight.predict is the contract created before execution. Under it, preflight.execute contains the actual coding agent work. The nested preflight.action.evaluate and preflight.drift.check spans record the file actions and the contract comparison. The attributes on the right include the session ID and runtime underscore mode. In underscore process, so we can distinguish preemptive in-process enforcement from external post hoc watching. At signoz also gives us the normal service view, latency, operations rate, error rate, and the key preflight operations. This confirms the instrumentation behaves like a real observable service, not a one-off demo trace. Our preflight is a prototype, not a universal security sandbox. We keep calibration, held out validation, failed attempts, and runtime limitations visible. The contribution is predictive execution contracts before the first token is spent.